Greetings, Internet people. RantingRamsay here. How are you all doing today? Once again, as per usual, lately I'm apologizing for the long gaps between videos. I've explained all this before, but the brief recap is I'm working a lot, and then when I'm not working, I'm trying to get my life together, which leaves very little time for me to actually sit down and make these videos, as I've explained almost verbatim many times in the past. But, however, I've got some time on my hands today, so I'm actually going to sit here and probably make at least 2, if not maybe 3 videos and upload them all at once. Maybe not simultaneously, of course, but I'll be putting up 2 or 3 videos today. The first one is something I told somebody I was going to do a while ago, and that is an extended rant on the topic of feminism, more specifically Feminazism. Because, as I've mentioned in the past, I feel all humans are indeed created equal, and that nobody really has the right to lord themselves over anyone else because of gender, or race, or skin tone, or anything like that. I think all people are pretty much on a level playing field, and if humanity as a whole could realize that a lot of the suffering and hardship and strife and bullshit that we have to put up with in our daily lives would simply disappear over time. And what really kind of gets to me about the Feminazis, and like I said, I mentioned this briefly, I believe it was in the shotgun-style rant request, was that the Feminazis pretty much label anyone with a penis and a set of testicles as evil. They seem to subscribe to the whole philosophy as if you're not one of us, then you're against us, and everything you do is absolutely detrimental to the female cause. Even breathing, apparently, are taking away the air from the feminazis, and that's just unacceptable because they have more of a right to it because they're a woman and you're a man. And that's the biggest problem with feminazism, is that they've taken this extreme because men have put themselves in a position of power over women for the longest time in human history, and that's slowly starting to finally go away. And the problem is the feminazis, they don't want equality, they want the kind of elevation over men that men had over women in previous societies. That they're not happy with equal rights. They're not happy with making the same amount of money as a man for doing the same job. They believe they deserve to make more money than a man for doing the same job. And that's just ridiculous. Nobody deserves to make more money than anybody for doing the same job unless they're better at that job than somebody else. Like an example, if you work in a kitchen and primarily the cook line is dominated by males in the casual dining industry, if you go into a TGI Fridays or an O'Charlie's or a Chili's or something like that, and if you could walk back into the kitchen and look at all the people that are actually cooking your food, 90% of them will be males. And basically the analogy where I'm going with here is, if I'm a cook on a line and I do a decent job at my station, I expect to be paid a certain amount of money, but I do not expect to be paid as much as someone who can step onto that exact same station and totally kick my ass when it comes to food quality and ticket times and things like that. I would honestly expect that person to get paid more than me for doing the same job because they're better at it. They're more efficient. They get the job done faster, costing the parent company less money, which means they're entitled to more money. However, feminazis don't seem to understand that basic fucking concept. They think that, like I said, because men have been elevated over women for so long, that they now deserve to be elevated over men. And like I said, that's just one small example. It branches into many different aspects. Like, I've heard many feminazis speak out against pornography, saying pornography is the most evil thing that it could possibly be. It's men subjecting women to their whims and blah, 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 and all this shit. And it was actually a set of dialogue from the movie Orgasmo, which was made by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the guys who do South Park. And that movie actually had Ron Jeremy in it, which I thought was really funny. And towards the end of the movie, Ron Jeremy and one of the other actors who's portraying a porn actor in this movie is talking to a female, and the female says that porn degrades women, that it exploits them is the word that she used. And it's really funny because in the movie Ron Jeremy turns around and he goes, not really, because men are the ones who want the product, that the men are the ones being held by the chains of the industry, and that it exploits the want of the men to want the product by exploiting women. Thusly, it exploits people. And it's not verbatim, but that's pretty much the dialogue that goes on in the movie. And I thought about that, and I go, you know what, that's right. That feminazis who think porn is just exploiting the women for the sex, but it's a male-driven industry. It's the men that want the product, and thusly, it's the men who are being exploited for money from a certain point of view. And that kind of breaches into even the whole feminazis will get down on strippers and stuff like that. But once again, if you think about it from a certain perspective, all the woman is doing is taking off a few pieces of fabric, and the man is emptying his fucking wallet. And as we all know, money is power. Well, if the man gives all that money to the woman simply for taking off a few pieces of fabric, who really has the power in that situation? Sounds like the woman to me, because all she did was go, "Ooh, look at my boobies," and the guy goes, "Here, take all this money. I'll look. I can't even fucking touch those boobies, but I'll pay you tens and twenties and fucking hundreds of dollars to look at them." Tell me who has the power in that situation, please. So the basic point on my feelings on the matter is, like I said at the beginning of the video, I believe all people deserve the same treatment and the same rights. And so when the feminazis start getting all twisted about how men should be subjected to the rule of women and blah, 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 it's just like you're missing the fucking point. If you want equality, that is what you get. Equality, not superiority. And so, I mean, that's basically the short and skinny of everything that I have to say on this point. It really aggravates me when some woman starts telling me that I'm detrimental to the female gender because I have a penis. And I could contribute to all these women's groups and join community action groups and fight for women's rights, and these feminazis would still label me as the problem. And that's the crux of the problem with them, is that there's a lack of understanding of the people that are trying to help them, and it's just fucking beyond ridiculous. So, feminism, as I've said before, is a good thing. Equality between all peoples is a good thing. That's what the basic tenets of feminism are, is that women are strong enough to do the men, or, it's funny as hell, women are strong enough to do the work that men do, and deserve to be paid the same amount, and they're capable of making the same sorts of political decisions and all this shit, and that's feminism, and that's good. Feminazism is basically short and skinny, men deserve to be subjugated because women have been subjugated, and that's just fucking bullshit. All people deserve to be treated equally, and that's really the bottom fucking line to the whole situation. I'm Ramsay. That is my rant. Stay tuned for more today. That is all for now.
Hey, did you get all that, man?